Hey guys, welcome back. So what we did last time is finish up the styling on this home page here. What we're going to do now is move on to the search page and style that. So the search page is the page we get when we type in something in the search box and we press enter. This is the search page. It's going to show us all the results. And I can actually show you what it's going to look like. This is the finished version of the site I've done. You can see this is the kind of thing we're going to get, the Google style results, and at the bottom we'll even have, this doodle style pagination at the bottom. But for now, what we're going to do is get this top kind of header section set up. All right. So go ahead and open up your search.php page in Sublime Text. I've got mine right here. Remember, all we did was this short little PHP code where we just echoed out the term that was entered. So I typed in dog, I pressed enter, and you can see it's echoed out dog here. That was just to make sure that this works. So you can actually get rid of that. We don't need that. We're going to come back to that. So I've got a blank page now for my search.php, and what we're going to do is start by copying the content from index.php, because most of this we want to reuse. We would only be typing it out again, so we may as well just copy all of it. So I'm highlighting it all, I'm copying it, going back to search.php, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, so I've pasted it in search.php, and then we don't want all of it, of course. What we're going to do is cut some of it out. So we do want to keep this logo container part. So this part right here, this div with the image, okay, we want to keep this. So I'm gonna cut this. All right. So cut. So I've copied it, and then I'm going to delete all of this stuff, but I'm going to keep this wrapper right here. So the only thing I have on this this search page right now, the only thing I have is the HTML structure, exactly the same with this CSS file link, because we do want to reuse that. I have the body, and inside there I just have this one div right now with the class wrapper, and we want to get rid of this second class for index page. All right, so it only has the class wrapper. Now inside this div here, we're going to create another div, and remember, I do still have that logo copied, so I'm ready to paste it in a minute. But first we're going to create a div. Okay, I'm just going to give this the class of header. Okay, this is going to be the header section. All right, just to show you again what it's going to look like. This is the header section. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what I'm going to call it. And what I'm going to do is highlight those two and just tab them across. Okay, the indentation is really good. It doesn't do anything for the page, but it makes it easy to read. Okay, so what we've done is we've created a div with the class header. I'm going to create one more div in there. So div, and then this one's going to have the class of header content. So class equals header content, like that. So I've created a wrapper div, we have a header div, and then we have a header content div. And inside the header content div, we're just going to paste that logo. So remember, I just copied that logo a minute ago. I'm now going to paste it, and I've just highlighted those two, and I've just moved them across, so it's in line now. Now, if I save that and refresh that page, so remember, I'm still on the search page, I'm going to refresh it, and you should just see a logo now. That's fine. We will obviously style this, so just let that be for now. But what we also want to do is put an anchor tag around this image right here, because what we want is this image right here to be a link to the index page. So if I click on this image, it's going to take us back to the home page, and we want to do that. So the way we do that is really, really simple. We just put an anchor tag around there, and an anchor tag is just an A tag like this, all right? And then put my closing one on too. So after the image, I'm putting my closing A tag. Oh, make sure you do put an A in there. So I'll move this image over as well. So all I've done is create this A tag right here, and A stands for anchor. And then I'm going to just do an href, and this is the hyperlink reference. And all this is the path to the file. All right, so I'm just going to say index.php, and that's it. I'm going to save that. And if I refresh the page, if I click on this image now, it should take me back to the home page. So I'm clicking on it, and it goes back to the home page, you can see. So that's great. So that's real simple. We have a link. And then underneath there, we're going to create another div, and this is going to be the search bar part, all right? So underneath there, still inside this header content div, all right, just underneath this logo container div, we'll create another div, and it's going to have the class of search container, just like that. And then inside there, we're going to create our form, because this is where the text box is going to go that they can type another search result into. So this one right here. So we want to make a form, because remember, forms are how we send data to pages. And then we're going to give this the action. Remember, the action is the page we want to send the data to, and the page we want to send the data to is just this same page. So, because if I search in here, if I search for something else, let's say dogs, we want to send it to this search page again. When I press enter, it should come to this page. So we want to send it to the page we're currently on. So we're just going to say search.php, and then the method is just going to be get, exactly the same as before. If I show you the index page real quick, you'll see that we did this same thing. We had a search container div, and we had this form right here. So you could have copied it out, but it's good to type it out again. Inside that form, we'll create another div. Okay, so I've created another div, and this one's going to have the class of search bar container. And that's the last div we're going to create here, but now we're going to put the input in there and the button as well. So just type input like that, and then give it the class of search box like that. And then type equals text, because you want it to be a text box they can type into, just like this. And we want the name equal to term, just like that. In fact, I'll make this Sublime text a little bit wider for you. And then if I refresh the page now, you should see a text box on there, which you do. Now we just want to put the button in there too, but it's going to be a different button than we did before. We don't want it to be this button here, okay? Because if you look at Google, wait for this to load. If I just type something in, let's say dogs, you'll see we have this button here, which is different. It has an image inside. If we want to put an image inside, it's better to use an actual button element. So button, and this has an opening tag and a closing tag, because in there you can put your text or your image. Okay, so because we want an image in this, we're going to use this button instead of on the index.php page when we use this input of type submit. Okay, so we use a button instead right here. And this will be the source of our image, but for now we're just going to write search because we don't have an icon yet. We'll get that later on. So for now, if I refresh the page, you should just see an image, a button with just the text search. All right, so we'll come back to that and add the image. So for now, that's a good place for us to leave this. Now what we'll do is just add some style to this so that it looks a bit like this, okay? And then we'll come back and do the image and just all the other things as well.